What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's Sunday night, and I was gonna wait till tomorrow morning to make this video, but I don't know. I didn't have anything going on, and I figured, you know what, let's just get this one started now before we get the work week started. We can get it out of the way. We can have a conversation and we can talk about some stuff. And what I want to talk about in tonight's video is why treating women like they're just friends makes them want you more. And, a lot of guys will find themselves in positions like you got a woman's phone number, maybe your friends on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat. And so you use the communication, the means of communication to try to set up a date. Most guys go straight in for the date. They say, "What are you doing on Friday night?" And most of the time a woman replies with, "I'm busy. I got school. I just started a new job. My friend's gonna be in town." The usuals. You say, "All right. Well, what about Saturday?" And she says, "I'm kind of busy on Saturday too. My aunt and uncle have an anniversary." Okay. Well, what about the third Wednesday of November? You know what? The third Wednesday of November, that happens to be a very important day to me, and I'm going to be out of town on that day. So most guys just give up. It's like, well, I got her number. I cold approached her, I got her number. But tried setting up a date and it didn't work. Well, that's probably the least efficient way of actually getting a date. When you treat them like they're just your friend, they're usually the one that's making moves on you. Now here's why. What's the number one benefit of having a female friend? And I'm not talking about the friend zone. I'm not talking about friends with benefits. I'm saying, what's the number one benefit of having a female friend? Now I'll tell you what it is. It's the ability to get a female perspective on things. So when you get a woman's number, the first step is to start getting a female perspective on things. This is how you find out what she's attracted to, what gets her aroused. This is how you get her feeling emotional about you. You do it by getting a female perspective from her. So instead of asking her out on a date, you could literally, later on down the road you might do that, but you could start out by, what do you have going on? Maybe you're going to a friend's wedding and you're at the store trying on different suits. So you're in the dressing room and you take pictures of yourself in a few different suits. And then you reach out and you say, "Hey, I need a female perspective. Which one should I get?" And what she's going to do is look you up and down, check you out, and she's going to tell you which one she feels the most attracted to. And this is why you can only get this perspective from a female. You can't get it from one of your buddies. You can't get it from yourself, because what women are attracted to and what gets them aroused might be totally different than what you think looks cool on you, or what your buddies think looks cool. But she's going to tell you what she's attracted to. Like I said, she's going to look you up and down. She's going to say, "I think you look best in the second one." You don't have to ask her why. The reason why is because she was looking at your arms or your shoulders or your backside or whatever, and she was attracted to it. And that's why she thinks you should get that one. It doesn't have to be a suit for a wedding, guys. That's just an example. It could be a haircut. It could be whatever you have going on. Whatever. Literally anything. You just reach out and say, "I want a female perspective." And what happens when you do this is, Like I said, she's looking you up and down, checking you out. And later on, after she has a few drinks, she gets goofy. She's been checking you out. It's like, imagine if it were the other way around. Imagine if she sent you 3 pictures of herself in a bathing suit, 3 different bathing suits. Which one should I wear? You're like, God damn. And you tell her which one you think looks the hottest. And later on, you're wanting to smash. Right? But it's pretty much the same way on her end. Later on, she reaches out. You know how women are when they get tipsy and they're aroused? She starts sending you messages like, they get goofy. Women talk dirty in a really goofy way. She might say like that she wants to squeeze your balls and slap your cock. Misspelling all the words. I'm tipsy. She wants to squeeze your balls and slap your cock. Where are you at? You know how women are when they get tipsy and they're in the mood. But you might think like, this is the same exact woman that I asked out on a date 4 times and she said no. But then I started reaching out like she was just a friend and I wanted a perspective. As if she's like a side chick or something. As if she's just some random girl, like she's your sister. Hey, I just wanted to get your opinion. Which one should I get? What should I do here? I need a female perspective. Well, now she's checking you out. Right, and turned on by you. This is why women are attracted to married men or men that are in relationships. A lot of guys think it's because pre-selection or they want what they can't have or something like that. That's not what it is. That might have a little bit to do with it, but the truth is, a married man has a wife that tells him every day what he looks handsome in. She likes it when he wears this outfit or that outfit, or she likes it when he says things a certain way, or he knows what women are attracted to because he has a woman at home telling him every step of the way what she's attracted to. So he leaves the house all put together in a way that's attractive to women because his woman likes seeing him that way, so he dresses that way. That's a feminine perspective, a female perspective on things. So every time you get a woman's phone number, you have to understand the number one benefit you can get from her is a female perspective. When you start getting that female perspective, suddenly, it's like you're tapped in. It's like, what gets women aroused? Okay, that's what gets her aroused. That's what has her tipsy, wanting to slap your cock and squeeze your balls, or whatever, right? Women talk dirty, weird ways. You get it. But, but also, she'll start reaching out to you for a masculine perspective. Maybe she's bought a new phone. New iPhone, doesn't know how to work it. Doesn't know how to transfer the data from this phone to the other. So she reaches out to you for a masculine perspective. Or something's wrong with her car and she has a question. You can answer the question. A masculine perspective is totally different than a feminine perspective. But you start exchanging that. And you realize that's really how attraction works. That's how female arousal works. When men look at women, we're aroused by very direct encounters. If a woman walks up to you and says she wants to give you a BJ, you're like, hell yeah, let's do it. If you walk up to a woman and you say something that direct, she's like, wants to, security, get this guy away from me. But, when you do it this way, when you just get her perspective on things, that's it. Like, it's very respectful, it's under the radar, but for some reason it still gets her turned on. Because she knows exactly what gets herself turned on. And what you're doing is you're getting her to communicate that. You know, it's very simple. Very simple. But a lot of guys are unaware of that. They don't realize how normal it is. You know, and I can even say this. And it's not even, it's so normal that the woman I'm with can watch the video and be like, yeah, that happened. Yep, that's exactly how it happened. And it's not even weird. It's not like a gamey trick that I have to keep a secret. It's just normal. That's the way people operate. But for some reason, a lot of guys struggle to operate that way. You know, they struggle to communicate like normal adult males because they're so, I don't know if they're intimidated by women or they're just, I don't think intimidation is the right phrase. They're so afraid of screwing up. You know, they're walking on eggshells. So they think they have to be kind of stiff. You know, they're really stiff and they think they have to do things a certain way. No. Ask her opinion on something and listen to it. Okay. Because she's telling you exactly what women are aroused by. So even if it doesn't work out with her, you know, when she tells you, okay, yeah, you look good when you wear this type of thing, and you might think you look good in something else, right? But you think you look cool and you're an alpha male, but women look at it and they're like, nah, that ain't it. You know, but then you get her perspective. It's like, okay, what I thought was cool, women aren't attracted to, right? Yeah, I know a lot of you guys, when I say that, you'll say, well, who the hell cares what they're attracted to? I'm going to do what I want to do, wear what I want to wear, look how I want to look. I'm a man, you know? Why do I care what a woman thinks? And that's cool, I understand that. I mean, I'm partially that way too, but think of it like this, you know. Where do you draw the line? If an athlete says, who cares what the coach says? I'm going to play how I want to play, you know. At some point, you got to kind of bite the bullet and say, would I rather do what I want to do? Or do I want to actually do what I have to do to improve? You know, that's a big part of it. But a lot of guys leave that part out. I don't know. I suppose that's really all there is to it. But yeah, you know, it's interesting because you don't even have to spit any game. You don't have to flirt. You don't have to play any weird mind games. You literally just get her opinion on something. And suddenly you get her aroused. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times that's been the case for me. You know, and you'd be surprised how efficient it is, how effective it is. You can have women on your, women you used to talk to on Messenger, Snapchat, used to text. You just haven't talked to them in a few years or so. You know, you can reach out of nowhere. You still have that untapped resource there. You still have that female perspective. You know, send her a message, go out and get it. And watch, I'm telling you. You know, later that night, a few nights later, she's in bed sending you text messages, saying she's under the covers with no clothes on. You know, they all flirt and send their sexual text messages differently. You know, she's naked under the covers and she wants you there with her. Who knows? You know, who knows what she's going to send you, but I'm telling you, man, it works. Give it a try. You know, and the best part about it is it's totally risk-free. You know, you don't risk looking stupid. and you find out, wow, this is what it's like when women have genuine desire. You know, when a woman reaches out to you, you haven't even messaged her yet today, and she's reaching out on Friday night saying she's tipsy, misspelling all of her words. She wants to squeeze your balls. That's genuine desire. You know, that's not you chasing a woman. That's, this is what it's like, right? This is what it's like when a woman likes me. Oh, yeah. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, guys. I think I've gotten the message across, and I'm probably just rambling at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this one off. But I hope this video was somewhat informative, and that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.